best placed rider is Massimiliano Lelli, and he's 45 minutes behind in the GC race. Just information and confirmation coming through there about that problem that Yatislav Ekimov had at the back end of the main field. In fact, was stung by a wasp. As we look at a couple of riders from Quick-Step, they are in a very good tactical situation, Phil, because they've got two riders in the breakaway, David Bramati and, of course, David Cañada.
They pulled off the big coup yesterday when they got the victory with the Dutchman, Saint-Maixent-l'École150. It could happen again for them, but I think they'll have to reduce the size of that group if they're going to win. They're not the sprinters of the likes of Saint-Maixent-l'École150, I don't think. Now, a loss today, by the way, from the start line. Santiago Botero, he's never really enjoyed this tour, had a feeling for it. He chose not to start this morning, so there's only 148 riders left in the race. But they have lifted this tour now. As long as we don't hang about too long on the final approach to Paris on Sunday. Remember that if the race is decided tomorrow in the time trial, they tend to drink champagne for the first hour or so. We are running at a record speed now by about 0.2 of a kilometre per hour, but today's stage is still running at a 50 kilometre total average for the day, so they could lift it right up. It would be most interesting if it happened, because how pretty would it be to have a Tour de France running a record time in its 100th year. The record, 1999, it was 40.276. At the moment, it is quite high at 40.478, with the weekend still to come. And today's stage is 50.1 kilometres an hour at the moment. Not going to lose much of that. I think it'll come in at around 49 average for the whole day, and that's going to keep us on that course. Well, the French think of everything. He's riding his bucking bronco on the back of that trailer there, welcoming the Tour de France. This is an area, Paul, where we don't travel too much in the Tour.
Rather surprising, in fact, looking through the record books, it's only the second time we finished in this region of France. This region is called Les Deux-Sèvres, and the last time the Tour actually visited here was back in 1950, and the winner on that occasion was Fiorenzo Magni, who was a very good one-day rider.
He certainly was, and I wasn't there, by the way, in case anybody wants to know. These are the teammates of Lance Armstrong doing their job again today. They'll be a little bit disturbed by the fact that Jan Ullrich stole 2 seconds bonus in that first sprint. Now the break has gone. No more bonuses to worry about for these boys for the rest of the day. Look at the speed you see as they were going along at 65, 68, almost 70 kilometres an hour. These riders are going at the moment. It has been a very, very rapid day. We're up with the breakaway again now, and they're obviously picking up a tailwind because they wouldn't normally travel quite as quickly as this. Vladimir Miholjevich is the rider just coming through on the left of our camera. Number 76, André Perron. And number 27 there is Daniele Nardella. We didn't see too much of him at the start of the year, start of the tour rather. Seems to be riding himself back in. This is David Bramati, and this is a rather pretty town.
Amazing as well. There's 16 riders in the leading group, and there are 15 teams represented. Only one man in the leading group has won a stage of the Tour de France. That's Daniele Nardello, the telecom rider, and that was quite a few years ago on a race into Carpentras. There's the main field, and I wonder whether or not Lance Armstrong and Jan Ullrich are chatting as the race cruises along this afternoon, because tomorrow they have to come head-to-head. They'll be the last two riders to start in the individual time trial, and what an unbelievable time trial it is going to be. Both men are believing themselves in the position to be able to win.
This is Paolo Bettini here, having a little chat at the back of the race as well, and enjoying himself. He's talking there with Wichita Baron, the leader of the King of the Mountains. There is Lance Armstrong. We'll take a break. Rejoin us on OLN. His best finish was in 2002, when that was last year, when he finished 14th. And he's just about moving into 14th position at the moment with this sort of a time gain. So you never know. Yeah, and I've got a feeling this big game might survive to the end. He might well be finishing with his best ever tour result, and it'll all be down to this one escape.
It's not really important for these men to attack each other right now, and it appears that everyone in the breakaway is working well together. You can see they've got in fact, Andy Flickinger has decided, oh no, they've all well, last minute. That's rather a strange sprint.
Well, I can't believe that. What on earth was the Lotto boy doing there? Christoph Brandt, he seemed to have woken up to the fact there was a sprint.
Yeah, a little bit too late, in fact. No, we're just once they get out of town here, they'll get themselves into a nice organized situation. They have two lines. Each rider, it moves up the one line, sets the pace on the front for a short period of time, and then slips back into the left-hand lane and goes to the back end of the rear field. The main field still under the control of the boys in blue, US Postal Service.
Well, we're looking down here on the Brio-sur-Bouton, the village of, or the town of, at 164 kilometers covered. This race is flying today. Stay with us, though, on OLN. We're going to see two sprints again, all for different reasons.
Just to try and catch him, and they are still not closing it down quickly enough.
There's got to be a huge effort. They're saying it's 6 seconds, that's all, but they are so committed. 6 seconds, you know, can be wiped out in the last kilometre, especially when it is downhill, and those boys have got some big gears on the bike now. But the trouble is, they've got to take a move, and psychologically, they know the first man to chase him won't win the stage.
He's just found a bit more extra energy from somewhere. He looked over his shoulders and he knew he's still got the 75 meters advantage. He will have his chain right across to the right-hand side at the moment, trying to get all of the last big energy he can, and it is so close. It looks as if De Cruz has taken up the pacemaking behind, and he's got a slight gap.
The last desperate effort here by Carlos De Cruz. He's been close before. He's going across to try and get some slipstream. 100 meters to go. De Cruz has been beaten. An incredible ride by David Cañada. De Cruz will get second, Nardello third, but it's a long way to go. Oh no, it's come round him on the outside and gone like an express train. The last desperate effort in sight of the line, and De Cruz is himself now beginning to fade, as here comes Pablo Lastras, and on the inside he tried to take it, but he never got it. On the line, Lastras has got it. We are being treated to a Tour de France that does never exist. It is incredible. Lastras in his first Tour de France now adds 2 stage victories in the Tour of Spain, a stage victory in the Giro. He's now got a stage win in the Tour de France. Here is the sprint from the rest here, taken out by Massimiliano Lelli, I think it was there. He gains most from the day at the big time gains. We don't know what they are yet, of course. Here comes Fabrizio Guidi as he tries now from Milojevic. Milojevic is the rider going to take him. No, Guidi got it. He'll be kicking himself because he was the best sprinter in the group.
He certainly was the best sprinter in the group, but what an unbelievable finish that was.
I can't believe in the last 100 meters that happened.
The lead changed about 3 times in the last 200 meters.
Ruined his day.
Well, looking down on the streets here of the finishing town of Saint-Maixent-l'École, we're going to have to wait for around about 20 minutes or so before the main field comes in. Look at the comeback here. His legs were buckling at this point, and poor old Daniele Nardello tried to go the wrong way. He was going to go up through the inside, and that just gave Pablo Lastras the chance to use that final acceleration. He's a very clever bike rider, this Pablo Lastras. This is his 8th win of his career, but the wins he has had have all been big ones, like stages in the Vuelta a España and, of course, the Giro d'Italia.
Yes, but to win like that, you could have called 3 winners in the last 25 meters and got them all wrong, because Lastras timed it to absolute perfection. It was all down to that steady uphill finish here. Very difficult finish to judge. And I can tell you the Spanish television commentators are over the moon right now, because that was a win right out of the blue. There it is, a win for Pablo Lastras. Well, he's got his first win in his very first Tour de France, but let's not forget the big race.
Ulrich sliding back down through the field right now. He doesn't want to get involved in a crash towards the finish, because these men will take risks. Leon Van Bon is moving up there on the right-hand side. He's looking for Robbie McEwen. Shoulders are starting to bump.
Well, this is a difficult sprint for all of the pure sprinters. I think it's Hans de Klerk now going. He's starting to, but it's O'Grady who's got his wheel. McEwen is still in there. Van Bon looking to Robbie McEwen off to the far right here now. I don't think Baden Cook's got it. He's too tired for this sprint. And Stuart O'Grady comes forward. O'Grady followed by Thor Hushovd, Eric Zabel. This is going to be a most interesting thing. Jean-Patrick Nazon is trying to get in the middle there. Bradley McGee is looking to help, but nobody's there to lead out. Here comes Zabel on the right now, taking on. Through on the inside, Thor Hushovd is going for it. Very difficult finish for him, but Eric Zabel, the strong man, and McEwen is on the line. He pulls the green jersey on tonight.
Unbelievable. We are sprinting for 17th place in the Tour de France. It has become so important, but Robbie McEwen has pulled the sprint out of somewhere there. He's going to cross the line in front of Baden Cook, so he will be the new leader of the green jersey competition tonight. It will, Phil, go all down to the Champs-Élysées.
Unbelievable. Can't believe this, that we're having a race like this in every category. It is absolutely incredible. I thought Stuart O'Grady had done it, and then when we saw Thor Hushovd come through, I thought he'd done it. Then the man in white went, Eric Zabel, we thought he'd done it. It all seemed absolutely incredible. But the man making the rush on the left of the picture, and he has got his legs back. Robbie McEwen kicking for the line, and as he hits the line, the difference, as Cook tries to follow him, will give him the race lead on green. Well, what an amazing finish this has been. As Paul Sherwin said, we're talking a 17th place. You need to get everywhere in this year's Tour de France. Changing leadership there. We'll be back.